And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/Takes by Fans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, folks. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, today's a big old Friday. We got to update our NBA power rankings today. We got to see if we can finally fit Justin Fields' game against Northwestern in today to kind of get a grasp on how is he looking in those games that he kind of blew a little bit, those big games that he blew. So we'll try to fit all that in the show, breaking down the NBA from last night, doing a moneymaker for tonight's NBA action, and then covering all the stories around the sports world. So let's just jump right into it today. Here we go. We have to make a little bit of a correction on what we were talking about yesterday. I 100% forgot that Derrick Henry is 6 mother-loving 3, folks, 6'3", dominant running back. So I have to apologize a little bit for our story on Cordell Patterson yesterday. We were kind of saying, he's 6'2", got to be that wide receiver. But, hey, Derrick Henry's making it work. We think he's the best running back in the league. So I'm all about it. Let's see if Cordell Patterson can do what Derrick Henry's doing at 6'2". Like we said, his rushing, his numbers were never good. They were never great. Rushing, receiving, he's just kind of a gadget player out there, better kick returner than he is kind of a wide receiver or running back. But if that's the kind of direction the Falcons are going to move in, with signing Cordell Patterson, getting kind of a big running back to try and mirror what Derrick Henry can do, then I'm all about it. But I don't think it hasn't panned out. That's why I don't think it's going to work out. But he is 6'2". We totally forgot that just Derrick Henry was 6'3". I thought he was 6'1", honestly, and then I double-checked it yesterday. I was like, gosh darn, he's 6'3". Oh, my goodness. Like, there's no other tall running backs like that. Like, Dalvin Cook's like 5'11". Zeke's 6'5". I think Adrian Peterson might be 6'1". But, yeah, I mean, Cordell Patterson at the 6'2". Let's see if he can do it here with Atlanta. We know they need kind of a good running back, so we'll see if they get one in the draft or they're just going to kind of stick with Cordell Patterson out here at the running back position. But we'll see what he's got. Definitely has to do something more than what he's been doing his entire career. Because we know, the 400, 300 rushing yards is not going to get it done in this league, man. So, Cordell Patterson, we apologize for slandering your height at the running back position because King Derrick Henry, baby, it's not affecting him being 6'3". He gets it done every single game. So, we'll see what Cordell Patterson can do this year for the Falcons. Alrighty, let's move on to this one. We're talking about kind of these rule changes that got voted on and implemented yesterday on the show, and the one that we were talking about was kind of the jersey numbers. Now basically everybody can have a single-digit number. Linebackers, changing their numbers as well. And Tom Brady did not really like this rule. He went on, Instagram, on Twitter, and, went and kind of expressed his unhappiness. So here we go. Tom Brady on Instagram. Good luck trying to block the right people now! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point emojis, folks. Going to make for a lot of bad football. Interesting. So Tom Brady's weighing in. What else does he say here? He circles this. Here we go. Approved a relaxation of rules for the number that players of certain positions can wear because of expanded practice squads. Running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, defensive backs, linebackers can all wear single digits. He circled that, saying, dumb. Why not let the linemen wear whatever they want to? Why have numbers? Just have colored jerseys. Why not wear the same number? ... Dumb. So Tom Brady is definitely not a fan of, any player wearing whatever number they want. He's used to calling out the Mike linebackers. 55's the Mike, 54's the Mike. Now he's got to be like 6 the Mike, 7's the Mike. We've got 12 down here. He's the Mike on the left side. So Tom Brady's not a fan of the rule. And hey, I mean, his input's got to matter a little bit, right? He's won 7 Super Bowls. I think the man knows what he's talking about. So it's going to be a little bit of an adjustment for Tom Brady out there, shouting out the linebackers, shouting out the Mike linebackers linebackers, making sure the protection is good, making sure the linemen are blocking exactly who they need to be. So Tom Brady's going to have to kind of study the numbers a little bit. All right, he's number 6, but he's a linebacker. He's 42, but he's a lineman. This man's number 1, or this man's number 99, and he's a quarterback out here for some reason. I don't know what's going on. So we'll see how everybody adjusts to this. So far, I don't think it's come out that anybody's really kind of switched their number just quite yet. I think a lot of people are waiting till the 2022 season so they don't have to buy the entire inventory of the current jersey numbers. So we'll see what happens here. Tom Brady, kind of lucked out winning the Super Bowl last year, so there's really no pressure on him to win another ring, honestly, before he retires. He's already done it. It's like LeBron James going to the Lakers. He's already got the ring. The pressure is still a little on him since he's in the league and he's still playing, so there'll always be, a little pressure on him to win the entire thing. But, he kind of he accomplished what he set out to prove by switching and going to a new team and winning year 1. So we'll see if this affects Tom Brady at all this season or any other quarterback, especially, rookie quarterbacks coming into this league. Let's see how they handle it, because if Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time, is having a problem with it, I'm sure other not as good quarterbacks as Tom Brady will also have trouble. So we'll see what happens here, and we'll see if Tom Brady's right, if this makes for a lot of bad football. I don't see it going like that. I don't see a lot of players changing their numbers, but hey, we have to kind of take whatever Tom Brady says as kind of the gospel a little bit, folks. I mean, he's the greatest of all times, folks. He proved that last season. We kind of went through it yesterday when we were talking about Drew Brees, but I mean, the discussion is kind of over right now. He ran the gauntlet. Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers beat them head to head. Bingo, bango, won the Super Bowl in the NFC his first season. He's got as many rings in the NFC as Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees has. So, I mean, there's really no argument to be made for them to be the GOATs anymore. So Tom Brady doesn't like it. Tom Brady does not like the number rule here that just got passed yesterday. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. Alrighty, the Broncos picking at number 9 in this year's draft. Still little, they're high on Drew Lock, they say, but they are in the market for a quarterback to add competition. So the Broncos could potentially get a quarterback there at the number 9 overall pick. But let's see what what quote do we got here? This is the general manager, I think. I think it's the general manager for the Broncos. So here we go. The general manager for the Broncos on this year's draft. Here we go. We've done the whole process. We're still working through it. One thing I'd like to mention is we do like Drew Lock. We have a quarterback in place. So if it doesn't work out where we don't draft one, we're really high on Drew. But with that said, we're going to look at every option at quarterback and every other position as well. All right, another quote here, and then we'll talk about it a little deeper. So we do like Drew Lock. What we don't want to do is force it and bring in a guy, overpay a guy to come in, and maybe he's not as good as the guy we have. Maybe he's not good enough to compete. We want to get this right. We want to get the right guy. We still have time. And then another quote here, last quote, there's a trade market. We have the draft. The landscape may change after the draft. A team drafts one. Maybe the quarterback's on the market. We're going to be patient, not force it. But we do realize we want competition. And I've said it since I've got here, and that hasn't changed. So they are, saying, hey, we still like Drew Lock, but, if we can get a quarterback, we're going to get a quarterback because we need competition, because we saw what Drew Lock did last season with no competition. I mean, floundered big time, played 13 games, but still only won 4 games like he did in 2019 when he only played 5 games. He won 4 games. So played so many more games, didn't get any more wins. His completion percentage was 57%. That is absolutely garbage in this league, especially last year. Like we said, we saw a lot of inflated completion percentage numbers last season. Josh Allen was 69, Aaron Rodgers was 70. So we've seen these kind of they're just inflated this year for some reason, whether it was the shorter season with COVID, defense is not being that good, more passing kind of plays over than running, and that kind of has been the direction the NFL has moving these last kind of 3-4 years. More heavy passing game, less running game. So Drew Lock having a low completion percentage this year was absolutely not very good. The interceptions was absolutely garbage. 16 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. That's 1-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio, and that is not good in this league, folks. Carson Wentz had 15 interceptions this season, and they just got rid of him. The Eagles just got rid of their guys. So that has been there for, 4 or 5 years, 4 or 5 seasons. So, I mean, you really can't turn over the ball. He also fumbled the ball a lot. When I was looking at this, I mean, he fumbled 8 times last season, so still a turnover-prone machine and just not resulting in wins. So, yeah, they should be cautious, on Drew Lock. Let's go out and see what we can get in this draft. And we see that they are picking 9 here in the draft, this Denver Broncos team. And we know Jacksonville's taking a quarterback. We know they're getting Trevor Lawrence, so that's not what the Broncos can get. Then the Jets, we know they're picking a quarterback at number 2. We're really not sure which one they're going after, but what we've all been hearing is that they're going after Zach Wilson, so he's going to be off the board. We know the 49ers are getting a quarterback, and we think that they're going to go get Justin Fields, so he's going to be off the board. Atlanta doesn't seem like they're going to pick a quarterback. I would be honestly shocked if they did. They're either going to trade back or go get another weapon defensively, probably at number 4. So they're not going to get a quarterback there. Number 5 for Cincinnati, they've got Joe Burrow. They're not going to move off of him. Dolphins, we have 2. We're not moving off of him. Detroit at 7 could also get a quarterback. We're really not sure how they're, Dan Campbell's feeling about Jared Goff, if they're going to rock with him for the year or bring in a quarterback. I think it would be stupid to get a quarterback. You've got a year 1 quarterback. You've got kind of a bridge quarterback. You've got a veteran quarterback that can kind of help out Dan Campbell's, first year as a head coach. So I would go and get kind of a weapon, improve your offense, improve your defense, so you don't have to keep going through, transition building years. You've got a decent, starting veteran quarterback that can kind of elevate other guys around him a little bit. So go and get a piece offensively, defensively, shore up your team a little bit. I would be kind of surprised, and I would be a little disgusted if the Detroit Lions win and got a quarterback at number 7. We know the Panthers aren't getting a quarterback. They moved off of Teddy Bridgewater to go for Sam Darnold. So Denver at number 9 has their kind of pick of Mac Jones or Trey Lance if they want to gamble. I wouldn't go Mac Jones. I don't think Mac Jones is that much better than Drew Lock. I mean, I'm saying Mac Jones is going to flounder in this league, folks. I don't think Mac Jones is going to be good. You can take the kind of risk on Trey Lance. It's a little bit of a, it is a little bit of a heavier risk in this year's draft just because he played in the FCS and not the FBS. Only had really one good season. He is a good dual threat quarterback, but we know he doesn't really like to slide that much. He likes to kind of deliver the big hit, get all the yards he can. So if the Broncos want to take a shot at quarterback, I think their really only real solid option here is Trey Lance here. So we'll see if they go out and get him. I mean, the Broncos, they don't need a running back. They don't need a wide receiver. So if they want to shore up their line at number 9, if they want to get a defensive player at number 9, that's fine. But they can also still get that quarterback at number 9. They want to bring up that competition. Or they can, like they said, they can kind of wait until after the draft. I mean, there's still Teddy Bridgewater out there, folks. He's going to not be on the Panthers. They gave him, the clearance to go and seek a trade. So maybe the draft's over. Or maybe even during the draft, hey, we'll give a 2nd-round pick for Teddy Bridgewater. What do you say? And they say, alrighty. And now they got other picks, maybe shore up their defense. They've got the quarterback to go out and compete with Drew Lock. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock, I think Teddy Bridgewater wins that all day, but that would definitely push Drew Lock, and that's what Drew Lock needs. He needs somebody to push them, because if he's the, he's the guaranteed guy, he's going to go 4-9, throwing 15 interceptions, not competitive in this league. So we'll see what happens here with the Broncos. They seem to kind of, they seem to be very confident and calm going into this year's draft. They've got the supporting cast around Drew Lock. Like I said, Jerry Jeudy. They still got Melvin Gordon. Unfortunately, they got rid of Phillip Lindsay, but you still got one good running back as well. So we'll see what they do here. They're open to all their solutions here, and I think that's kind of how you have to go into this year's draft, because really nothing's set in stone. And the COVID season maybe have inflated some players. We haven't seen a lot of players in this year's draft play last season because they opted out, so it's going to be real wonky in this year's draft. Try not to kind of overreach in this year's draft, because this draft is going to be full of busts, and that's kind of what I'm going to be thinking out here, just of how the college season happened last year. A lot of players opting out. not playing kind of, it's all inter-conference competition. So playing kind of, if you're in a bad conference, you're playing against bad competition. Yeah, maybe you're good, but you're good against bad competition, maybe elevating or inflating your own kind of draft stock a little bit just based on last year alone. So Broncos say they're really high on Drew Lock, but they do want competition. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what they do in the draft at number 9. Alrighty, let's head over to the Browns. We know they just signed Jadeveon Clowney the other day, and Myles Garrett is a big believer in Jadeveon Clowney. Browns revamped defense, he says, quote, I think will be very scary. And yeah, absolutely. Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, abso-freaking-lutely. Let's see what Myles Garrett's saying out here about their new revamped defense. Quote, I think we can do a lot. I don't know what we're doing in the draft, that's all up to Kevin Stefanski, but with the pieces we have now, I think will be very scary, so I'm looking forward to it. Getting on the field, taking the ball away, putting it back in the hands of our offense, and getting the ball back for us. And then we get another little quote here at the end of the article. I know everyone else is looking forward to it, and so am I. I know the guy is really aggressive, talking about Clowney, really gets after it, and he has a motor, keeps attacking, plays the run well, and a good pass rusher. He's an athletic specimen, like someone I know on the Browns, so it will be fun. It really will. So, I mean, we know great pass rushers out here. Myles Garrett, just last season, what does he have? 4 forced fumbles last season, fantastic. 12 sacks, absolutely fantastic. 18 quarterback hits, just an absolute monster game wrecker on the defensive side of the ball. And then you add Jadeveon Clowney into that mix. He didn't do too much last year with the Titans. He only played 8 games. No sacks, but, he had, 4 pass defenses, pretty solid. 1 forced fumble. No sacks, unfortunately, but 6 quarterback hits, so, in a little bit of a not great season for him. Still solid, less than solid production, but we see what he has done in his career when he's played kind of a full season. He can add, 9.5 sacks, 9 sacks when he's playing 16 games. Absolutely fantastic. Pairing that up to what Myles Garrett did last year. What do we say? 12 sacks. So a lot of more sacks coming for this Browns team. He forces the fumbles, 3 forced fumbles, 3 forced fumbles, 2 forced fumbles when he's playing a lot more games in the season. Getting after the quarterback, again, 21 quarterback hits, 17 quarterback hits. So get another defensive player for this Browns team to get after the quarterback along with Myles Garrett. So all these offensive linemen are going to have their hands full when they have to go and face this absolutely stacked defensive team. So now all Baker Mayfield needs to do now is just kind of be a little bit of a game manager on the offensive side of the ball, have Kevin Stefanski kind of work in that game plan. And we saw kind of how well Kevin Stefanski was kind of able to elevate Baker Mayfield's performance on the field his first season in. Expect that to get even better. The defense shored up, so definitely this Browns team is going to be absolute contenders. I would say possible Super Bowl contenders, folks. I mean, this AFC is kind of getting stacked now. I love the freaking Colts. They're absolutely stacked. The Browns, absolutely stacked. We know the Chiefs, obviously. The Ravens, obviously. So there is real great competition here in the AFC, and it's really kind of anybody's race now. Who's going to get that extra piece in this year's draft to put them over the top to make their team the best team in the AFC? But yeah, the Browns got to watch out for them next season. Their defense should be on paper. It's going to be brutal. So good luck to all the AFC offenses out there this year. All right, let's move on to a Jet story here, and I think I'm kind of buying into Robert Salah a little bit. Hearing him kind of talk, I kind of like it in these press conferences and all that. Dan Campbell, I'm still completely out on. I do not think that man's going to work, but this Robert Salah, he might be winning me over a little bit, so I'm all about him. So let's see what we get here. Jets head coach Robert Salah, quote, I don't think there's a risk building around a rookie quarterback, and hopefully not, because we know they're drafting a quarterback at number 1. They just got rid of Sam Darnold, so, I mean, it's clear they are going after a quarterback at the number 2 overall pick this year. But let's see what we get from Robert Salah here in this article. A couple of quotes, so let's read them. Here we go. Quote, I don't think there's a risk It still comes down to having a good football team and building a good roster around everybody. There's players here that are talented. There's rookies that are talented. The expectation is that they're 1 of 53 when it's all said and done, and they've all got to perform their best to create a great football team. So, he's like, hey, yeah, we need to get the quarterback right, but hey, there's still 53 other guys on this roster. And we've seen that happen. I mean, we've seen, Ryan Tannehill be a little bit of a game manager in the postseason and get to the AFC Championship game. We just saw Tom Brady not perform the best in that playoff run this year, through a lot of interceptions, especially against that Packers team, and the defense steps up. So, I mean, yeah, the quarterback is a real important position to get right, but it's not the end-all, be-all. You can get to, I mean, look what happened to the Jets in, 2010 to 2013, where they had, Rex Ryan as their head coach, a great defensive mind, back then, before he kind of got figured out and now is, on ESPN talking. That kind of 4-year stretch or 3 or 4 season stretch of that Jets getting to the AFC Championship game every single year consistently, but they had Mark Sanchez as the quarterback, absolutely trash, but they had a stacked defense. So you can get places, you can go far in the playoffs. Hasn't got to been proven that you can win a ring without a solid quarterback, unfortunately, but you can still make it far in the playoffs, make it to the AFC Championship game. And Robert Salah, year 1, if he can kind of have a good record, a winning record, potentially make kind of a playoff push at the end of the year, that's going to be a huge success year 1 for this man, absolutely. So he's not kind of, he's not fretting on this kind of, quarterback decision. Couple of more quotes here. So as far as pressure is concerned, there's no pressure on me. There's always pressure. There's always pressure to put together the best football team we possibly can, regardless of who's playing. I'm very comfortable with every decision that's made, and it's our job to put him in the best position to be successful. And not just the quarterback, but every single player that takes the field. So I'm kind of buying it, man. I'm kind of buying him a lot more than Dan Campbell and these other kind of, first-time head coaches out here. We know he's more of a kind of a defensive, minded head coach. More of a kind of, energizer on the field. I mean, if you don't know his name, you will know him just by looking at him. Oh, that's the guy in the 49ers that's jumping on the sideline all freaking game, getting everybody motivated. I don't really think that translates very well to a head coaching position. Like we've been saying, I mean, that's definitely somebody you want on your team. Absolutely. Get the guys pumped. You have to build, your kind of own momentum most of the time in big games, and he does that absolutely perfectly. But I'm a little hesitant to see if that's going to translate to a head coaching position. But he's kind of slowly making me buy in. And if he knocks this draft out of the park, man, that's going to be fantastic. First year, first draft, second overall pick, has some decisions at the quarterback. So, I mean, there is pressure on him. I know he says there's no pressure on him, but there is kind of a lot of pressure on him. You have to be the man to turn this Jets franchise around. I mean, they just went through a couple of years with Todd Bowles. Absolutely not good. He was a defensive-minded head coach. Couldn't make it work here. Adam Gase, offensive guru, quarterback guru, couldn't make it work. So there is still pressure on Robert Salah. I'm glad that he's not kind of getting, drowned by the pressure. It's not affecting what he's saying out there. So that I truly love about that, about this man. But we'll see how he does it, man. And we'll see which quarterback he takes. I mean, is he going to kind of screw over the 49ers? I think that's a possibility to watch out for. I think we know the 49ers are big on Justin Fields, and then once the Jets saw that the 49ers were big on Justin Fields and traded up, that's when they made the trade away of Sam Darnold. So maybe they're like, yeah, we kind of like Zach Wilson, but we see the 49ers loving Justin Fields. He's from the 49ers. Maybe he kind of screws them over a little bit and takes Justin Fields at number 2, leave Zach Wilson for number 3. So it's definitely going to be interesting, man. And I cannot wait for this draft. I know I'm saying this every single show, but I truly cannot wait for this draft. If Robert Salah takes Justin Fields at number 2, he will be my favorite head coach of all time, honestly, of screwing over the 49ers there at number 3, trading up, trading away first round picks in the next 2 years drafts to try and get Justin Fields. And Robert Salah's like, no, we want Justin Fields. You should have traded up for us. You should have traded up to number 2. Unfortunate. Justin Fields, welcome to New York, and we're about to set it off. So Robert Salah, man, winning us over a little bit, not taking this kind of, not taking too much pressure on himself here. So let's see how he kind of plays out his first year with the Jets. Definitely, I mean, folks, there's so many storylines to talk about. I cannot wait for the NFL season to get closer. We can go a little bit more in depth after the NBA season. And Robert Salah, man, woof, we'll see, man. We'll see. I wish him the best of luck. I loved him on the 49ers, absolutely. He is you need his type of guy in your locker room. You need him to be successful. Let's see how he handles the head coaching responsibilities along with that. Alrighty, let's go to kind of another kind of draft scenario here. Dave Gettleman, the Giants general manager. Ever since he's got there, he's never traded back in a draft. He's always, stayed with what he's had, building the new culture here with the Giants. And, a lot of people have some words about it. So let's read what Giants general manager Dave Gettleman is saying on this year's draft. So, quote, honest, I've tried to trade back, but it's got to be value. I'm not getting fleeced. I refuse to do it. If somebody wants to make a bad trade back, God bless them. We've had opportunities. I've tried, and we've kind of seen, I would say, a bad kind of, bad little trade here by the 49ers, taking away, giving away 2 first-round draft picks to try and get Justin Fields. Alrighty. I mean, I don't like trading back. I mean, I don't like draft picks. I don't like later draft picks. I mean, if I'm getting a draft pick, I want top 10. If it's not top 10, I truly do not care about it. I will trade those things like nothing. So Dave Gettleman, he doesn't kind of want to get fleeced, and I mean, that's the art of deal making, folks. One person is going to be a clear winner in a trade. You don't trade away something good. I mean, you trade away something that inside information that's probably bad. I mean, all right, we're going to trade this wide receiver. Yes, he's good right now, but we see his decline coming. So we're going to trade him when his value's at the most, and we're going to dump him on another team that, only is seeing what is being put out there publicly, because they're not, practicing with him every day. So I get 100%, Dave Gettleman not wanting to trade back. I respect him for not trading back. Honestly, it takes a lot of guts. I mean, everybody was saying, oh my God, this Dolphins deal is a home run hit right out of the park. But I mean, at the end of the day, if we don't get our number one guy coming into this year's draft, I mean, was it even that good of a trade? And if, we just talked about Browns, in 2010, trading up for Julio Jones, and, they got a smorgasbord of good draft picks, but it didn't pan out to any good players. So there is still risks trading back, waiting till next year to use the first round pick. You don't know what the talent's going to be like. You don't know where you're going to end up picking. The 49ers could win the Super Bowl, and those first round picks are number 31, number 32. We got lucky. The Dolphins got lucky that the Texans were trash this year, so it was a number 3 pick. So, trading back is not great. Acquiring more draft picks doesn't mean anything. Dave Gettleman's fine with the 6 that he has, doesn't want to try and get more, has no kind of, it's got to be great value for him, and if he doesn't see it, he's not going to take it. So I'm all about what Dave Gettleman's kind of getting at here in this article. I've got no problems with it. Trading up in this draft, if you want to do it, alrighty. I'm not a big fan of just kind of getting more draft picks. If it's not top 10, I don't want it, and, usually you don't trade top 10 draft picks like that unless you think you're set, and I don't think the Dolphins are really set now. Giants here, let's see where they're picking at. Giants are picking at number 11, so we'll see what they do. Try to help out Daniel Jones. I mean, they've been signing free agents left and right, wide receiver position, so let's see if the Giants just kind of shore up their defense here at number 11 and let this offense work, man. Let it rely on Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. I think they can do it, honestly. So shore up the defense a little bit. We're big on this Giants team already. If they can shore up their defense a little bit more, we'll see what Dave Gettleman does. But, yeah, I'm still big on this Giants team, absolutely. All right, last 2 stories to talk about. Chris Boucher, unfortunately for the Raptors, has sprained his MCL in his left knee. His return will be based on his rehab process, so potentially missing a couple of games out here. Not the greatest for this Raptors team, because we know, they're very close to getting into the top 10 for that play-in tournament. They are currently number 12 in the East. You have to get into the top 10 for that play-in tournament. We know the play-in tournament is 7 through 10 here, and the Wizards are currently number 10, and they both have 25 wins, the Wizards and the Raptors. So the Raptors are a half a game back out from that number 10 seed. We see the Bulls at number 11, half a game back from that 10 seed as well. So there is still a lot of competition here, even though we're ready to wrap up the regular season now. Games are coming to a close now. season's coming to a rest. So we'll see, how these teams are kind of finishing out the season, whether they choose to rest or choose to get better playoff positioning here. But Chris Boucher for this Raptors team has been pretty good. I mean, he just kind of got into the starting lineup recently consistently. I mean, look at this. Ever since April 2nd, he's been a starter consistently all the way up into, their last game until he got injured, unfortunately. So, I mean, he brings the points. We've seen some games with 38 points, 19 rebounds, 17 points, 14 rebounds, 12 points, 12 rebounds, 11.7 rebounds, 31 points, 12 rebounds. That's what he does for this Raptors team in the starting lineup. Definitely need a solid, good big out here, and that's exactly what he is. So, getting injured at the worst moment here for the Raptors, trying to get in that play-in tournament here at number 10. Chris Boucher is a big part of their team outside of Fred VanVleet, Kyle Lowry, Pascal Siakam. So hopefully he's back soon. They can't afford to lose any more games, folks. They really need. I mean, if you're kind of 7 through 10 here in the East and the West, you have to start winning every single game, making sure, especially in the East, because we're talking about the Wizards, Bulls, Raptors, all within kind of a half a game of each other for that final seed, for that final 10th seed. In the West, I think it's a little bit more safer for the Warriors here. They have a 3-game lead over number 11 for the Pelicans and a 5-game lead over 12 of the Kings. So, the West isn't that competitive for the play-in tournament, but this East, I mean, we've got 3 teams all fighting for that last spot. So, we'll see who goes out and gets it. We'll see who kind of finishes up this regular season winning all these games, and we'll give a lot of respect to whoever kind of wins out here for this number 10th seed in the East. But Chris Boucher being out for the Raptors definitely going to hurt their chances a little bit. All right, and then some good injury news here. We saw Trae Young the other day when he faced the Knicks get taken out of the game limping bad, and it was looking bad. He was on the floor. Oh, I would say he was almost crying. I would say he's crying out there. But yeah, looking real bad. But the MRI revealed a grade 2 lateral sprain on his left ankle. He's expected to return as soon as his swelling and discomfort are gone. So no real structural damage, just pain, just pure pain. So once his ankle, the swelling goes down, no more pain, no more discomfort, he can get out there. So that's great. Not going to miss too much time here. Let's see where the Hawks are currently 5th in the East right now. They could probably drop all the way back to that kind of 7th seed. We see they kind of have a 3.5 game lead from that Hornets team at that 8th seed. So they still don't want to be in that play-in tournament at number 7, only a game back from that kind of play-in tournament at number 7 with the Heat. Or a game ahead of the Heat, only a game ahead. So they can still drop it under that play-in tournament, somewhere they probably don't want to be. So we'll see if they kind of play Trae Young, if they're urgent to get him back, if they're going to rest him for the playoffs, if they just kind of send Lou Williams out in the starting lineup and see what they can do for the rest of the regular season, maybe just gear up for a nice playoff run here. But the good news is Trae Young shouldn't be out too much longer here, and he probably won't miss that many games, hopefully. So some good news for Trae Young, because this Hawks team was, starting to get real kind of good and consistent. Bringing in Lou Williams at the trade deadline was perfect for them. Bogdanovich was getting it done at the 2, so they just needed to kind of Trae Young to do what Trae Young does on a game-to-game basis, and he's been doing that, and they've been winning games. So when he went down against the Knicks, it was truly, truly unfortunate, but just a grade 2 lateral sprain in his left ankle, so nothing big, nothing truly unfortunate. So we'll see when he gets back, and we'll definitely keep updated on that. Alrighty, those were all the stories that we needed to cover for today. Now let's head over to the NBA. We'll talk about the games from last night. We'll do our moneymaker for tonight's action, and then we'll head over to our power rankings where we have to update it in the NBA, and then we'll head over to Justin Fields' game against Northwestern and seeing if he kind of impresses us a little bit more. So let's start here in the NBA from last night. Just a few games on last night so we can go through these quickly. First game up, Celtics and the Suns, and man, oh man, another kind of poor performance here offensively by the Suns. I mean, this last week, we're going to talk about it when we get into our power rankings, but man, oh man, the Suns team, I mean, in 86 points, that's what they do offensively. It's like, if Devin Booker does not kind of put up to 25, 30 points, this Suns team has trouble scoring the ball some games, most games. I mean, just this last week, they had like an 86-point game and an 89-point game, so just not getting it truly done there on the offensive side of the ball, and they end up losing against the Celtics last night, 99-86. So let's start here with the Celtics. Absolutely fantastic for the Celtics. No Evan Fournier for the bench, and also no Jaylen Brown. He didn't play this game. So this was the lineup that the Celtics went with last night. Kemba Walker at the 2, Marcus Smart at the 3, Kemba Walker at the 1, Marcus Smart at the 2, Romeo Langford at the 3, Jason Tatum at the 4, Tristan Thompson at the 5. And Kemba Walker had a fantastic game, 32 points on 64% shooting, 5 of 11 from 3, absolutely fantastic. 4 assists, 4 rebounds to go along with that. Marcus Smart getting it done defensively, only 11 points, but he was a plus 21 on the floor. 11 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds. He only hit 1 of 5 from 3, 36% overall from the field, but that defense was able to get it done. Tristan Thompson at the 5, 9 points, 12 rebounds, alrighty. Jason Tatum, a little bit of a lackluster night, but they were still able to pull out the win because of Kemba Walker and the poor lackluster shooting of the Suns last night. So Jason Tatum, only 15 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. He shot 17%, 1 of 8 from 3, absolutely atrocious. And that's something that we haven't really truly seen from Jason Tatum in this kind of big win streak. What are they in their last 10? Like 8-2? Yeah, 8-2 in their last 10. So during that kind of 10-game streak that they were on, Jason Tatum was getting it done. 30 points a game, 35 points, 30 points, getting it done, being the leading scorer, especially without their kind of big depth with Evan Fournier out. He's really been getting it done. Little lackluster performance here, especially with no Jaylen Brown, but Kemba Walker steps up big time for them. So shout out to Kemba Walker last night. And then Romeo Langford at the 3, didn't do anything great. 2 points on 4 shots, playing 31 minutes, just kind of got it done defensively, a +7 on the floor. So overall, the starters, not really anything great, but Kemba Walker did what was needed and stepped up big time. So very well done for Kemba Walker to get it done. Now let's talk about the Celtics bench. We see Jabari Parker, he's getting some solid minutes out here off the bench, 6 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds in only 15 minutes. Love seeing that. We just saw they kind of acquired him the other week, and he's kind of been playing solid out here. This is decent production from him out here, so not bad. Grant Williams off the bench, 5 points, 2 steals, 2 rebounds. But then look at this, Peyton Pritchard. Yes, sir, this is what we're talking about. 10 points off the bench, 4 rebounds. He didn't shoot very well, 2 of 7 from 3, and 37% overall from the field. But he got the double-digit points, and that's exactly what this team just needs, especially without Evan Fournier. You really can't trust anybody on this bench, and Peyton Pritchard gets it done with the 10 points. We'll take that. So just enough for the Celtics team to win. They didn't put up that many points, only 99, but hey, you outbeat the Suns scoring. They could not really hit any threes, so a little unfortunate for the Suns. So let's talk about the Suns team now. I mean, same old. They didn't have Jay Crowder. But there's still no reason. There's one team that doesn't have Jay Crowder, one team that doesn't have Jaylen Brown. I would still expect the team that doesn't have Jay Crowder to win, and the team that didn't have Jaylen Brown to lose. So another lackluster loss here for the Suns team. They just lost against the Spurs the other night, lacklusterly, not getting it done offensively. So another one of these games here tonight or last night. Chris Paul, 22 points, 8 assists, 8 rebounds, 3 of 7 from 3. So overall, a pretty decent night. But at the end of the day, it's not enough scoring, not enough defense out there to get it done. Devin Booker, 15 points, 4 rebounds. He shot 0 of 2 from 3. Nobody could hit any threes out here last night. Devin Booker shot 46%, but the 15 points is not going to get it done. He's like, the Celtics, Jason Tatum. He kind of needs to be the main scorer out here. DeAndre Ayton at the 5, 10 points, 9 rebounds. Cameron Johnson filling in for Jay Crowder at the 4, 8 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. Shot 0 of 6 from 3. Absolutely very, very not good. 27% from the field. So Cameron Johnson can't get it done for the starters. Truly unfortunate. We need somebody to step up here, and he didn't. Man, oh man. And then McCall Bridges at the 3, 15 points, 4 assists, 1 of 9 from 3. Folks, they only hit 6 threes last night while the Celtics hit 12, and that was kind of the main difference. The scoring ability for the Suns just was not there from deep, and it definitely hurt them in this kind of 13-point loss last night. All right, and then the Suns bench. What do we got? Torrey Craig, 7 points, 5 rebounds, nothing great. Cameron Payne, 7 points, 3 rebounds. Dario Saric only putting up 2 points on 5 shots, so no great scoring from this bench. Cameron Johnson couldn't step up in place of Jay Crowder, and nobody could hit the 3. So that was the main reason why the Suns team lost, and a little concerning here. This Suns team has kind of faced a lot of these good teams recently, so maybe that's a little reason why. They've been facing they just kind of ran the gauntlet last week. That's why we kind of put them at number 2. But they've got, what do we got? The Bucks, the 76ers, I mean, the Celtics. I mean, they're going after real tough opponents here, just not winning them a little consistently as we would kind of like. So, a little unfortunate here from the Suns losing last night. All right, let's move on to the Pelicans and the Magic now. And the Pelicans just absolutely blow out the Magic, and, rightfully so. I mean, this had to happen, right? So, thankfully, the Pelicans finally win a game and dominate a game that they should be dominating. So, decent kind of, starting green flag for this Pelicans team now. But they win 135-100, a 35-point win here. Fantastic. So let's start here with the Pelicans. Brandon Ingram, 29 points, 6 assists on 64% shooting. Zion Williamson, 23 points, 7 rebounds on 75% shooting. Fantastic. Steven Adams, 12 points, 9 rebounds. Eric Bledsoe had a pretty good game, 15 points on 5 of 7 from 3. Efficient, yes, sir. And then Lonzo Ball, 6 points, 12 assists. 4 rebounds. Didn't shoot very well, 2 of 5 from or 25% from the field, but I'll take those 12 assists all gosh darn game. And then off the bench, yes, sir, Jackson Hayes, 10 points, 6 rebounds in 21 minutes. Love it. Love seeing that man get action, and he made the most of it. And then let's also shout out Willie Hernangomez off the bench, 18 points, 12 rebounds in only 17 minutes. Gosh darn. So an absolutely great game here for the Pelicans. All the starters played light minutes because they were just absolutely blowing out the Magic here. We could talk about the Magic quickly. Anything great? Mo Bamba got into the starting center position here. 17 points, 12 rebounds. Gary Harris still in the starting rotation at the starting 2. 11 points, 2 rebounds. Cole Anthony at the starting 1, 14 points, 3 assists. So nothing truly great there. Mo Bamba had a good game for kind of getting into that starting rotation finally. Off the bench, anything great? We got Chasen Randall, 10 points off the bench. Devin Kennedy, 17 points off the bench. And RJ Hampton, 10 points off the bench. So nothing great on this Magic team. Like we know, they don't have their superstar anymore. Traded everybody at the trade deadline. Nothing great here on this Magic team. So nice win for this Pelicans team. Let's see if they can kind of, make a push here. They are currently number 11 here in the West, so still outside looking into that play-in tournament, and they're 3 games back from that Warriors team. Games are starting to run out, man. You have to start winning games consistently, so we'll see if this kind of Pelicans dominant win over the Magic propels them to kind of try and get back into that kind of play-in tournament, because if we're going to go another season without seeing Zion in the playoffs, truly unfortunate for that man. LeBron James was getting to the playoffs right out of high school. Right out of high school, the man was getting into them. So Zion's got to pick it up a little bit here. Not Zion, but the team. Y'all know. Zion's great. I mean, he's shooting like is 65%. Absolutely wild. All right, let's go to the 76ers and the Bucks now. Next game up. Bucks get it done, winning 124-117. They were dominant over the 76ers all game long, but Philadelphia was able to have a really great fourth quarter, outscoring the Bucks 30-16 in the fourth quarter to make a little bit of a closer game here. One of our moneymaker picks from last night as well, 76ers +8, and they lose by 7. So we just were able to squeak out because they had a great fourth quarter. But no Ben Simmons still for the 76ers. Truly hurt them defensively. So that was a kind of a big reason why they lost. But let's start here with the Bucks. Giannis, 27 points, 6 assists, 16 rebounds. Once again, light on the free throw line, 10 of 18 from the free throw line. So and that kind of got him in trouble a little bit. I mean, the game wasn't really that close ever. But, he was missing some free throws, giving those opportunities for the 76ers to kind of close the gap a little bit in the fourth quarter. So Giannis definitely needs to still clean up those free throws. Chris Middleton had a pretty good night, scoring the ball, 24 points. We'll take that. That's what we need from him on a consistent basis. 5 assists to go along with that, 4 of 7 from 3. Very well done. Brook Lopez, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 4 of 7 from 3 as well. The man's, when he's on, he's a great kind of outside scoring big. So good night from Brook Lopez. Dante DiVincenzo back in the starting lineup, 3 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, but, 1 of 5 from 3. Couldn't get it done there. Drew Holiday, 12 points, 11 assists, 4 rebounds, facilitating the floor. Fantastic. Drew Holiday is a huge reason why this Bucks team is kind of back on track now, kind of late in this kind of, late in the season ever since he's got healthy. So fantastic there. And then off the bench, we got some good performances. Pat Connaughton, 10 points, 5 rebounds. We'll take that. Bobby Portis, 23 big ol' points, 5 of 5 from 3, 81% from the field. So a great night by him. 5 rebounds to go along with that. And then P.J. Tucker, just 22 minutes off the bench, only taking 2 shots, scoring no points. Classic P.J. Tucker. He did that in the starting lineup for the Rockets. He did it on the bench for the Rockets, and now he's doing it here, just getting it done defensively off the bench. Just a -2 on the floor, so let's shore that up a little bit, especially in a nice kind of dominant win here. So P.J. Tucker, let's get it done a little bit more on the defensive end, but still, he was the best, plus minus off the bench, so we're not trying to knock that man too much. All right, let's go to the 76ers now, and an unfortunate loss for them. Like we said, no Ben Simmons, so George Hill fills into the starting kind of point guard position. Didn't do anything great out there starting-wise. His bench production and his starting production is kind of the same here. So George Hill, 6 points, 4 rebounds. I mean, he shot 75% and only 4 shots, so that was good, but, not kind of the good defender that we need Ben Simmons to be. Seth Curry, 11 points. He shot 3 of 3 from 3 and 66% overall. Just didn't take a lot of shots, but he was efficient last night. Joel Embiid, 24 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds only, kind of getting locked up on the boards a little bit by Brook Lopez and Giannis. Tobias Harris, 18 points, 6 assists, 2 rebounds. He shot 50% on 16 shots. And then Danny Green, 0 points in 14 minutes. He only took 1 3 and missed it. So Danny Green couldn't be that player out there last night, unfortunately. Off the bench, we got some real good productions out here. Shake Milton, can always rely on him scoring the ball off the bench. Fantastic. 20 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds on 57% from the field, and 3 of 5 from 3. Pretty great night by that man. What else do we get? Tyrese Maxey, 11 points, 5 assists on 36% shooting. And then we get Mike Scott, 11 points and 4 rebounds. And then Dwight Howard, always got to shout this man out, 4.7 rebounds in only 14 minutes. Yes, sir, a +2 on the floor as well. So the bench was able to kind of outscore, or just kind of outscore the Bucks. All these bench players for the 76ers in the kind of plus, all the starters in the minus. So starters couldn't get it done. Definitely missed Ben Simmons a little bit, or a lot. Definitely a lot last night. So 76ers try to come back. Just unfortunately, the deficit was too big in the fourth quarter. And they made it decently competitive, but overall it was kind of a blowout from the Bucks last night. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. Spurs and the Pistons up next. We can go through this one decently quickly. Nothing great on this Pistons team. We see Jeremy Grant is back out for the Pistons. He got in like 1 game and is back out, so unfortunate there. For the Spurs, no DeMar DeRozan, and they still get the win, so fantastic there. We see Derek White steps up kind of big here, 26 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds in the starting point guard position. He shot 2 of 8 from 3, unfortunate, but still, the 26 points, we'll take that all day. Lonnie Walker, 18 points. Jacob Poeltl, 17 points, 11 rebounds. We see Luka Samanik fill in for DeMar DeRozan at the starting 3. 2 points on 25% shooting, so nothing great there. And then off the bench, we get Rudy Gay, 14 points, and then nothing truly great besides that, which is kind of what we know. Only Rudy Gay really kind of gets it done off the bench. So kind of the Spurs B team a little bit here, gets it done. This Pistons B team can't get it done. Sadiq Bey, 9 points on 33% shooting. Josh Jackson led the team in scoring at the 2, 29 points on 55% shooting, but other than that, nothing good. Frank Jackson put up 14 points off the bench. Killian Hayes put up 12 points at the starting point guard position. Those were the top 3 scorers, the only 3 scorers in double digits: Josh Jackson, Killian Hayes, and Frank Jackson. So not able to get it done here for the Pistons. Like we know, I mean, we barely even talk about this Pistons team. There's nothing good on this team. There's nothing solid on this team. So we can maybe shout out Jahlil Okafor, maybe, get him, a little bit better, but I mean, still only 7 points, 4 rebounds in 19 minutes off the bench. Nothing great for the man. So Spurs get the win, 106-91 over the Pistons. Let's move on to the Bulls and the Hornets now. Bulls getting back on track here with another win, 108-91 over the Hornets. Is this a 2-game win streak for this Bulls team? What do they got? They did lose a game between their kind of wins. So 1-game winning streak for this Bulls team, getting a little bit back on track. Still no Zach LaVine, so Vucevic is able to get it done. Daniel Tice still at the 4. Thaddeus Young still off the bench. Fantastic. So, all right, here we go. Kobe White for this Bulls team, 18 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, and he shot efficient, 70% on the field, 4 of 6 from 3. So good night by that man. Garrett Temple, 18 points. Nope. Garrett Temple, 9 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds on 37% shooting. Vucevic, 18 points, 6 assists, 15 rebounds. A kind of, classic Vucevic game that we saw on the Magic. Daniel Tice, 9.7 rebounds, 0 of 3 from 3, 42% overall from the field. Patrick Williams, 7 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. So nothing great from this starting lineup, honestly. Thaddeus Young got it done off the bench, 18 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. He was a plus 16 on the floor in only 20 minutes off the bench. Truly a great night by that man. Thomas Sortansky coming off the bench now, 10.7 assists. Lauri Markkanen, 11 points, 4 rebounds off the bench. So this is a nice little bench squad that they got of Thaddeus Young, Sortansky, Lauri Markkanen here. You've got some good bigs. You got the defense. You got the facilitator. You got the shooter. So you've really got everything just between those 3 players off the bench. So I do like their bench play. Their starters needs to get a little bit more consistent out here. Kobe White, like we said, I know he is a rookie. Correct? I'm almost certain he's a rookie. 1 year experience. So, still young in this league. So he needs to be a little bit more consistent, especially with the Zach LaVine out. I know it's big shoes to fill, but if this Bulls team wants to get into the play-in tournament, the key is honestly Kobe White. He needs to be Zach LaVine level of production out there when he's not. Let Vucevic kind of handle the starters with Kobe White. And then that 3, I love that 3 of Thaddeus Young, Lauri Markkanen, and Thomas Sortansky coming off the bench. I think it's fantastic. So the Bulls, they had their work cut out for them. Half a game back for that 10th seed. Games are dwindling, as we've been saying, so we'll see who's going to rise to the occasion and claim that kind of final spot. But good win for the Bulls last night to kind of get back on track. Good kind of good team all-around win. All right, now let's go to the Hornets now. An unfortunate loss for them last night. Not the big games from Terry Rozier and Devontae Graham that we're kind of used to. Terry Rozier, 11 points, 8 assists on 1 of 6 from 3. Devontae Graham, 16 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds, 3 of 11 from 3, not the greatest. Vernon Carey Jr. at the starting 5, 8 points, 4 rebounds. Miles Bridges, 13 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. And Jalen McDaniels to round out the starters, 3 points on 12% shooting on 8 shots. Needs to be a little bit better there. So nothing truly great from the starters. Nothing great off the bench. We have Cody Zeller, 8.6 rebounds off the bench, and Brad Wanamaker, 11 points, 5 assists off the bench. That's all decent, but truly just nothing great overall. Definitely are missing, their big 3 of LaMelo Ball, Malik Monk, Gordon Hayward. So scoring is coming down here. Hopefully they can try and stay in the kind of play-in tournament. They are currently number 8 here in the East, so hopefully they can kind of keep that up. They got a nice little 3-game lead, 3.5 game here lead on the Bulls for that kind of 11 seed for that other team to kind of claim it in. So we'll see what this Hornets team can do. See if they can kind of stay on track a little bit. Kind of go hit and miss here. They are 3 and I thought they were like 5-5 in their last 10, but 3-7 in their last 10. Not the greatest. Definitely are missing their players. All right, and then the last game of the night, Mavericks-Lakers. Mavericks win 115-110. We see Anthony Davis's first game back was on minutes restrictions with only 16 minutes last night. But Lakers kind of getting blown out again this entire game and just had a nice little third quarter to get back into it. Winning, 39-32 in that third quarter kind of definitely helped them out a little bit. Make it a little bit more competitive, so well done to the Lakers, but they still lose by 5, unfortunately. Let's start here with the Mavericks since they won. Luka Doncic doing Doncic things out here. 30 points, 8 assists, 9 rebounds, 3 of 9 from 3, 42% overall. Classic game. Josh Richardson, 13 points, 2 rebounds. Dwight Powell still at the 5, and Kristaps Porzingis still at the 4, and I think I love Porzingis at the 4, man. So Dwight Powell here at the 5, 10 points, 2 rebounds. Kristaps Porzingis at the 4, 19.6 rebounds, and then Dorian Finney-Smith at the 3 to round out the starters, 10 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. So overall, starters were all able to get it done. They got some nice bench contribution from Willie Cauley-Stein, 11 points, 8 rebounds. Tim Hardaway Jr. only 8 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Jalen Brunson put up 7 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, and then JJ Redick 7 points on 1 of 2 from 3, 60% from the field. So really kind of nice night here from all their starters, able to get solid points out here. Everybody scoring 7 or more. That's what we're talking about. So well done here all around by this Mavericks team. Everybody able to get it done, and they're able to beat this Lakers team. So shout out to this Mavericks team. Very well done last night. All right, now the Lakers. What happened with them? Who did not step up big? Kyle Kuzma? Yeah, a little bit. Defensively, he was good, but offensively, just meh. So here we go. Dennis Schroeder, 25 points, 13 assists. I mean, what a night. 69% from the field, 2 of 3 from 3. Fantastic work. And Dennis Schroeder, like we've been saying, he's been getting great without LeBron James and Anthony Davis on the floor. So we'll see if his game kind of regresses when all the starters get back in. But this is a nice kind of, a little bit of a break when Dennis Schroeder really kind of had to be the number one player on this Lakers team. I really think he's been rising to the occasion. So when the Lakers go and get LeBron James back healthy for their playoff run, Dennis Schroeder out here has got the experience of kind of being the number one kind of playmaker out here. So we'll see how he does when everybody returns consistently. KCP, 29 points. Great night from him. 6 of 12 from 3. 52% from the field. Fantastic. Led the team in scoring. Andre Drummond at the 5 still. 14 points. 19 rebounds. 6 of those offensive. He was a plus 14 on the floor. The highest of the Lakers. So fantastic work by Andre Drummond getting it done. Not being that kind of main offensive piece that he was in the Cavs, but just getting it done on the boards and defense. And that's what this Lakers team needs, honestly. Anthony Davis, only 4 points. He shot 20%, so really not in a rhythm here. Getting his feet under him a little bit more here. Only playing 16 minutes, 4 points, 4 rebounds. And then Kyle Kuzma at the starting 3. 8 points, 4, 6 rebounds. He shot 40%. Decent, I would say. 0 of 2 from 3, unfortunately. But his defense got it done. A plus 12 on the floor in a 5-point loss. So not bad by Kuzma defensively. And then off the bench, Montrezl Harrell, 14 points, 6 rebounds. Unfortunately, he was a minus 19 on the floor. He shot very well, 87%, but needed to be a little bit better of a defender. And that was really it. Nothing truly great. Markieff Morris put up 4 points. Alex Caruso put up 5 points. Taylor Horton-Tucker, 4 points. Ben McLemore, 3 points. So nothing great besides Montrezl Harrell, and we can kind of always rely on him. 17 minutes off the bench, pretty good for the 14 points. Alrighty, so that was the NBA from last night. Let's see what's on tap today. Get our moneymaker going, find out where the good value is tonight, and hit our moneymaker. Let's hit it. Hit it all. We went 1-2 officially last night. Truly unfortunate. Hornets letting us down and the Lakers letting us down. We had the Lakers +3. They lose by 5. Unfortunate. But this is what we have on tap for today. We get the Heat and the Hawks. We get the Celtics and Nets at 7:30 ESPN. Nationally primetime game here. This is going to be a great one. Let's see if Kyrie Irving can finally win one by himself out there, yeah? Cavs, Hornets, Clippers, Rockets, Wizards, Thunder, Grizzlies, Blazers. Hey, Blazers, you got to win this gosh darn game. You understand me? Same thing with kind of the Grizzlies. I mean, this is kind of do or die for both of these teams out here. We're the Grizzlies in the West. Currently number 8, man. So Blazers number 6, Grizzlies number 8. We'll see what they can do, but this is going to be a good one. Blazers need to get back on track, folks. 3-game losing streak, losing by like 1 point every game. We'll see if we get good value with them. And then the late game on nationally televised television, Nuggets Warriors, 10 o'clock on ESPN. That one should be a good one as well because we know this Warriors team rises to the occasion on everybody they face. So we'll see if they can get it done tonight. All right, but let's refresh these lines. Let's get these lines all up to date here. See where the good value is and make some money tonight. So here we go. First game up, Hawks Heat. Hawks -5.5. Heat +5.5. Alrighty. Victor Oladipo is still out for the Heat, unfortunately, and Tyler Hero is a game time decision. And then for the Hawks, Danilo Gallinari, game time decision. Tony Snell, game time decision. Chris Dunn is out still. Clint Capella is a game time decision. Trae Young is out. And Cam Reddish is out. So it's going to have to come down to Lou Williams and Bogdan Bogdanovic to kind of get it done scoring-wise for this team. This Heat team is on a nice kind of streak here. Are they on a nice little 4-game winning streak? What they got going on? 3-game winning streak. Alrighty. So how is this Hawks team going to fare without Trae Young? I'm assuming probably not very good. They're going to be not great off that bench. I mean, Lou Williams was their best bench scorer, and he was only putting up only 11 points a game. Nothing great off the bench. So we'll see if he can kind of upgrade his offensive production, making up for all of the kind of points that Trae Young brings up. So I got to stay away from this Hawks game, this Hawks spread here with the +5.5 here. Can't trust it. Heat -5 is looking a little appealing here, but I want to see how this Hawks team works without Trae Young. I don't think it's going to work, but I'm not 100% confident that this Heat team can kind of cover the 5. I think it will be a decently close game. We'll see. So we'll just have to stay away from it. Let's see how this Hawks team responds with Lou Williams in the starting lineup. Alrighty, next game up, Celtics and the Nets. Celtics plus 4.5, Nets minus 4.5. Alrighty, we saw the the Celtics just playing last night, so a little unfortunate there. Kemba Walker's a game time decision with rest, and we just saw him go beast mode, so he'll probably will rest, unfortunately. Evan Fournier is still out with COVID-19. Jaylen Brown's a game time decision. I'm assuming he's gonna play since he didn't play yesterday, so he's gonna have to kind of be the main man that steps up, him and Jason Tatum. And then Robert Williams is a game time decision with knee injury, so we'll see if he's back in the kind of rotation off the bench as well, providing some relief for Tristan Thompson. And then for the Nets, Kevin Durant, a game time decision. Interesting. James Harden is still out. Tyler Johnson is a game time decision. Chris Giazza is out, and Nicholas Claxton's out. That's kind of big for them. They're going to have to probably rely on Blake Griffin back in the starting lineup here, and I don't really love it. Let's see if we get any update here on Kevin Durant. Nothing. No real update, unfortunately. Because if Kevin Durant was 100% playing, absolutely, I would take it. The spread doesn't really reflect it, though. I would probably say the Nets would probably be a little bit a higher favorite if Kevin Durant was playing. This minus 4.5 for the Nets at home. Celtics on the back-to-back, potentially not having Jaylen Brown and Kemba Walker. The Nets, man, they're on this one-game losing streak, just kind of lost to the Raptors. Kyrie Irving couldn't get it done himself, but I'm going to kind of bet on the Celtics team not getting it done on this back-to-back. We'll bet the Nets minus 4.5. Kevin Durant, hopefully he plays. If not, we're going to have to rely on, Kyrie Irving getting it done himself, and whoever is going to be that starting point guard for the Celtics, whether they put Jaylen Brown, if he plays at the starting point guard, good luck trying to, stop Kyrie Irving. So we'll take the Nets minus 4.5 here. Alrighty, let's keep moving on. Next game up, Wizards Thunder. Wizards minus 10, Thunder plus 10. Alrighty, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander back. Let's see. No, he is still out. All right, Luguentz is a game time decision as well. For the Wizards, Rui Hachimura is out. Denny Avdija is out for the season. We saw him kind of go down in their last game. So just having not Rui Hachimura, just going to all come down to Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook. I'm sure they win this game by 10 or more. We're going to stay away from it. Can't trust this Wizards team with that spread. Can trust them to win, no doubt, but to cover the 10, we'll stay away from that one. Now, no real great value there. All right, then we get the Clippers and the Rockets. Clippers minus 10, Rockets plus 10. All right, Rondo's a game-time decision. Patrick Beverley's still out. Serge Ibaka's out. Kawhi Leonard is out. For the Rockets, we got Eric Gordon is out. Daniel House Jr., game-time decisions. We'll see if he's back. Sterling Brown is still out. And Kevin Porter is also out. So they're going to kind of, once again be lackluster scoring the ball. We know this Rockets team always flounders in one quarter, whether it's the fourth or the second or the third. They always kind of flounder points-wise, scoring-wise. So we'll stay away from this one. Paul George has been getting it done by himself out there, so we can't trust this Rockets team. Got to stay away from this one. Then we get the Cavs and the Hornets. Ooh, some good value here, I think. Cavs plus 1.5, Hornets minus 1.5. I think I love the Cavs plus 1.5 here. And everybody's basically good to go. Just Damian Dotson is out. So, we've got Darius Garland, Colin Sexton, Jared Allen, Kevin Love, Larry Nance Jr., abso-freaking-lutely. And then the Hornets, LaMelo Ball's not even back yet. And it's going to be Hornets minus 1.5. What the hell is that? I'm taking the Cavs team all day. That's fantastic. This is the best game that we've seen so far today, folks. Cavs plus 1.5. Absolutely magnificent. They'll get it done. What are you, nuts? And did the Cavs play last night? No, they didn't, and the Hornets did. So back-to-back for the Hornets? What are you, nuts? I don't know. Just because Terry Rozier had a bad game and Devontae Graham had a bad game, they think that's going to, change? I don't think so. I'm going with the Cavs plus 1. Tremendous value there. Holy cow. I love that. Wow, I love it. I freaking love that, folks. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Cavs plus 1. Love it. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. Last 2 games up. Nuggets, Warriors. Nuggets minus 2. Warriors plus 2. Alrighty. We know this Nuggets team has been pretty good without Jamal Murray, winning every single game without Jamal Murray. They just brought in Austin Rivers. And this Warriors team, though, they play to the occasion. They always rise to the occasion, man. So they could be playing some good basketball out here against the Nuggets, but let's see who's in and out. Just Monte Morris is out for the Nuggets, so definitely going to have to use Austin Rivers a little bit more now with Monte Morris being out. And then for the Warriors, Juan Toscano Anderson's a game time decision. Damian Lee is out with COVID-19, and Eric Paschal is also out. So we've been seeing Damian Lee give solid production off the bench whenever he's playing. So Warriors be a little bit more lackluster off the bench than usual. Nuggets -2. I got to just rock with them. We got to rock with the Nuggets -2 here. Warriors, man, they are good, and they do rise to the occasion. But this Nuggets team, I mean, we've got to ride the value when it's here. And this Nuggets team has shown that, Jamal Murray's not here, but we always get it done. They've still got Jokic. They've still got Michael Porter Jr. They've still got Aaron Gordon. So it's not the scoring that goes down. It's just kind of the facilitator on the floor. But you bring in Austin Rivers. I'm blanking on who their other kind of point guard is that they've been running other besides Monte Morris. Facundo Campazzo, once again, a good facilitator on the floor. I mean, just being the game manager there at the 3. They don't have the best bench, but now with having Austin Rivers, I mean, he just gave us, 5 points in 13 minutes their last game. And you still have Paul Millsap off the bench as well. So we're going to take the Nuggets here -2. I'm going to count on Jokic to get it done with Michael Porter Jr. Steph Curry is going to try his damnedest. And we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we don't get bit in the butt with them rising to the occasion like we've been saying. So Nuggets -2, that's what we're going to go with. And did this value for the Cavs +1.5, it just got even worse. It just got even worse, folks. Like we've been saying, I mean, value comes and goes. It started at -110 at Cavs +1.5, and now Cavs +1.5 is -117. So you're losing value. We love this. It's just kind of reinforcing it. And look at this. It's now officially changed to Cavs +1, folks. Gosh darn. But we're still going to rock with it here. Fantastic. Man, oh man. Alrighty, and then the last game of the night. Grizzly. I mean, are people watching live right now? People must be watching live, betting everything they've got on the Cavs. I mean, folks, is there anything that we'd say that is just not true, folks? Oh my goodness. Everything we say is just right all the time, and I freaking love it, man. That's why we still do the show every single day. Alrighty. Oh man. All right. Let's keep going here. Last game of the night, Grizzlies, Blazers. Do we make this a 3-teamer or do we leave it a 3-teamer or make it a 4-teamer? Let's see what we got. Grizzlies +3, Blazers -3. Ugh. Blazers -3. Ugh. Jonas Valanciunas is still out for the Grizzlies, so we may be able to take the Blazers here. All right, for the Blazers, Derrick Jones Jr. is a game-time decision, and Zach Collins is out. But we get Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum. Let's see if Jusuf Nurkic can finally be good. This Grizzlies team not having a big, it crushed them last game. Let's quickly bring up their last game for the Grizzlies. I mean, they just got beat up by the Clippers, losing 117-105. Grizzlies on the road. Nobody could grab the rebounds for the Grizzlies. Xavier Tillman had 12. I mean, not bad, I guess. Not bad. But what do you have scoring-wise? Only 8 points. Can't really rely. I mean, with Valanciunas, I mean, we're getting like 15 to 20 points every single night with those rebounds. So we'll see if Xavier Tillman can kind of fill in a little bit better here for the Grizzlies, going against Jusuf Nurkic, going against Enes Kanter off the bench. It's going to be a little tough for them. So we'll see how the Grizzlies do it. But I gotta just bet on this I gotta bet on this Blazers team, folks. I gotta just expect Damian Lillard to turn it around. They've been facing very high competition lately. They just had to face the Nuggets. They had to face the Clippers, the Hornets. That's not that great, obviously. But the Celtics, the Heat. So they've been on a little bit of a kind of, decent team run here. Definitely should have been winning against that Celtics team, and that Heat team absolutely should have won against the Hornets. Absolutely. But I got to see that they got to turn around. There's got to be some urgency here at some point. They've been losing by like 1 point because Damian Lillard does not have the ball in his hands at the last shot. So Damian Lillard's back, consistent. We're going to bet on him. Blazers -3. Let's see them get it done here tonight. So that's our moneymaker that we've got tonight. Nets -4.5. Cavs +1.5, but now Cavs +1. However, whenever you locked it in at, we locked it in at Cavs +1.5, so that's what we're going to be taking. Nuggets -2, and the Blazers -3. So some light spreads here, basically just calling winners, and that's what we're going to take out here tonight. Alrighty, let's head over to our NBA Power Rankings. We update this every Friday, and you better believe today is gosh darn Friday, folks. So we'll update this Power Rankings. and see how the league has shaken out over the last week. So, coming into this week, this was the top 10. Hawks at 10, Warriors at 9, Bucks at 8, Nuggets at 7, Celtics at 6, Nets at 5, 76ers at 4, Jazz at 3, Suns at 2, Clippers at number 1. Already at that number 9 seed, we were debating between the Warriors and the Knicks, and man, oh man, at the end of the day, hindsight, we made the wrong choice, so we will be fixing that today. The Knicks are getting in the top 10. Don't you all worry. So we have 2 new teams in the top 10, 2 teams exiting the top 10. So we'll tell you about those before we kind of start rearranging the order. So the first team out of the top 10 is unfortunately the Hawks. They went 2-1 this last week. They did just lose against the Knicks. No real fault of their own. Trae Young going down maybe, changed the course of the game a little bit here, especially without Trae Young. I mean, we got to see how they work, so we are going to have to move the Hawks out of the top 10. We'll see what they can do tonight. Like we said, I mean, they've got the Heat tonight, so we'll see if Lou Williams can kind of get it done without Trae Young in the starting lineup. So we'll see how all that shakes out, but for right now, for this week of what happened, we are going to have to move the Hawks out. And we also have to move the Warriors out. I mean, they had the good win against the 76ers, but then they lose against the Celtics and the Wizards. Not very good. And like we've been seeing about this Warriors team, I mean, they always rise to the occasion to kind of, challenge the best teams. But when they face, these kind of average, below average teams of the Celtics and the Wizards, I mean, they play down to that competition. It's like, how can you go and beat the 76ers and then lose to the Wizards? Like, it doesn't make sense like that. So we are going to have to move the Warriors out of the top 10 as well. Unfortunately, we gave them a chance here in the top 10. They blew it, so you got to get kicked out. So those are the 2 teams leaving the top 10. So let's start from number 10, work our way up to number 1, and see who the new teams are and see how this new ranking is shaking out over the last week. So the new number 10 team here, congratulations, is going to be the Washington Wizards. Yes, sir. I mean, absolutely fantastic. I mean, from like the first, maybe like 2 months of the season, we're all writing off the Wizards. There's no way they're going to be good. There's no way they're going to make kind of the playoffs at all. They're just going to be a garbage team, but they're on a 8-game winning streak right now. 6 or 8? What do we got? 6, 8-2 in their last 10. They just finally got that 10th seed over the Bulls here, so they are in the play-in tournament. Absolutely fantastic. Bradley Beal, Russell Westbrook are literally getting it done every single game. No nights off for them. They're all scoring the ball, facilitating the floor. Definitely Russell Westbrook is still getting those triple-doubles, still getting those turnovers. But, hey, at the end of the day, it's not resulting in losses. So we can kind of write off those turnovers a little bit if they're winning. Who cares if he has 9 turnovers if you're winning? Now, if you're losing and have 9, obviously that's a little bit of a different conversation. But, hey, they're winning. We can kind of forgive them a little bit. Davis Bertans is getting it done off the bench. I mean, they still don't have any real great big out there or really any other solid starter. But Davis Bertans with Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook all kind of going for, 30-plus. Davis Bertans maybe like 15 to 20-plus a night off the bench. But got to give it up to this Wizards team. In the last week, they beaten the Pelicans, the Pistons, the Thunder, and the Warriors. So not great wins there. Nothing, not a Clippers, not a Suns, not a Jazz, not a 76ers, but we're not going to penalize you for what you're doing. You're winning the games that you should be winning. You're making strides for that play-in tournament, and that's all we want to see, you winning consistently. And ever since the trade deadline, this Wizards team has really been winning consistently. So we're going to give them a shot here in the top 10. Let's see what they do this week, and let's see if they can kind of move up a little bit. Let's see if they can shore up their playoff positioning. Can they get any higher than number 10? What are they looking like here? 2 games out from 9, 3 games out from 8, 5 games out from 7, and 6 games out from 6. So they're probably going to be either 10 or 9 here in the East in the play-in tournament, and I want to see what Russell Westbrook can do. Let's see if he can kind of maybe light a spark. And I mean, if let's just say this Wizards team gets in at number 8, can they challenge the 76ers? I don't think they'll win the series, the Wizards, but I think they'll make some games competitive, maybe steal 1 or 2, maybe make it a little exciting, because Russell Westbrook is just a dog on the floor. So the man wants to win. He will do whatever it takes to win, and for that, we respect the heck out of it. Wizards at 10. Alrighty, new number 19. This team is coming down just a little bit here. Just a little bit. So the Bucks last season was number 8, or last week was number 8. We got to move them down to number 9 here. Just unfortunate. I mean, the last week, their lineup has been a little inconsistent. 2 weeks ago, Giannis wasn't in. Now this week, it's like Dante DiVincenzo's not in. When they don't have all their starters, they lose games because in this last week, they went 1-2. Yeah, they beat the 76ers, but they didn't have Ben Simmons there last night for the Bucks and the 76ers. And what else they got? They lost to the Grizzlies with no Dante DiVincenzo. Is that an excuse? You don't have Dante DiVincenzo, so you lose. You still got Giannis, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, Brook Lopez, but you lose to the Grizzlies. Not the greatest loss there. And then they also lost close to the Suns. That was a close game, but at the end of the day, they lost it. So I got to, weigh that loss as a loss, unfortunately. So we are going to have to move the Bucks back a little bit here, losing without one of your not even key pieces, like your fifth best option there on the floor. You lose that. You beat the 76ers with no Ben Simmons, but it was still kind of close a little bit, and then you lose to the Suns. So gonna have to push them back a little bit here. They're still good overall, and once everybody's healthy, they're all very good, but not one of your players is gone and you start losing games. I mean, Wizards only have Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook, and they're winning games. So got to give it up for the Wizards. Got to move the Bucks back a little bit here. Let's see what they do this week. I do think they have a nice little week ahead of them that they can kind of show out a little bit. Am I bugging on that? Let me see if I can quickly bring up their schedule. Quickly. All right, what do the Bucks got going on this week? They've got the 76ers again tomorrow. They've got the Hawks, the Hornets, and the Rockets. So, I mean, some decent competition that they should be able to win. So let's see if they can start winning those games consistently or just win those games consistently when everybody's there. So we move the Bucks down to number 9. Alrighty, new number 8 team here, and this team's getting kind of moved back again from number 5 last week to number 8 this week. The Nets are the new number 8 team. I mean, Kyrie Irving's all out there by his lonesome and can't get wins. I mean, Kevin Durant can get wins by himself if he, I don't even know if that's true because I don't even know if he's played by himself, but I think he did because Kyrie Irving maybe got ejected or something happened where he didn't play on Ramadan or something. I think Kevin Durant won that game. I think he did. But either way, James Harden wins games by himself. I don't want to hear it. I mean, no Kevin Durant, no Kyrie Irving. James Harden is able to be the scorer and facilitate the ball, where Kyrie Irving, I mean, it's good points and it's good kind of facilitating the ball, but it ends up in losses. So this last week, the Nets went 2-2. They beat the Hornets and the Pelicans, lost to the Rockets and the Heat. So not great losses there, not great wins there. And Kyrie Irving not being able to get it done by himself is a little unfortunate. I mean, Kyrie Irving is the only superstar that gets a free pass of not winning games by himself. Every other superstar gets kind of crushed and killed that he can't win by himself, or, that they're not as good because they can't win by themselves or anything like that. But Kyrie Irving, I mean, everybody just thinks he's the greatest. Everybody sucks on him all the time. And, that's fine. I get it, I guess. But, I mean, he's not a true number 1 option in this league. In my opinion, he's a fantastic 2, probably one of the best 2s in the league. But he's not a number 1. Can't elevate the team around him. We've seen Joe Harris having lackluster games when it's just Kyrie Irving out there. And we never seen that with just James Harden out there. So we have to kind of, see that Kyrie Irving is kind of hurting the team overall when it's just him out there. So I'm going to move the Nets back a little bit here. There's other better teams. There's other teams that can kind of win. I mean, this a little bit of a spoiler alert, but this Nuggets team at number 7, of last week, they're moving up heavy because they're winning games without Jamal Murray. They're plugging people in. Monte Morris, Facundo Campazzo, no worries. Let's sign Austin Rivers to a 10-day contract. Let's see what he can do. But this Nets team with just Kyrie Irving, I mean, it's still a good team. You got Bruce Brown coming off the bench. You got DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin. You got Joe Harris, another great other option. So I don't want to hear that Kyrie Irving has no weapons, folks. That Nets team is still deep without James Harden and Kevin Durant. So Nets at number 8. We're moving them back a little bit. All right, new number 17, no longer the Nuggets because they are moving up heavy, folks. So this team is moving back a little bit. The 76ers, unfortunate here, moving back from number 4 to number 7. Once again, just kind of another team that, loses some of their players and just loses games because of it, like losing Ben Simmons. Now the 76ers team can't win. And, yes, it's unfortunate, but we are going to have to move you back if you're not winning. If you're not at full capacity, I mean, and you can't win games, I mean, that I'm not going to put you at one of the best teams in this league. Other teams, I mean, this Clippers team, they're like having no Kawhi Leonard every other night, not having, well, Paul George is still out there, but no Kawhi Leonard every other night, and they're still winning games, still able to get it done. They've been going through centers and point guards, and they still get wins. So I see other teams winning without their core pieces. Your team can't win without core pieces. That's not impressive to me. We move you back. 76ers have to get moved back a little bit here. I don't love doing it, but I have to do it. So the last week they did beat the Clippers, but there was no Kawhi Leonard. So is that even that great of a win? And they won by like 3 points that game. And then they lose to the Warriors, the Bucks, and the, what do we got? Warriors, Bucks, Suns. They just lost to the Suns the other night. Unfortunate there. Oh, what I threw away the notes like I knew everything. But yeah, so the Suns team, or no, 76ers team, sorry. Threw away the notes. We got discombobulated there. But yeah, the 76ers team, they beat the Clippers without Kawhi Leonard, not the greatest win there, and they can't win without, having all their stars. They couldn't win when they didn't have Ben Simmons or Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris comes back, and Ben Simmons is still out, and they still lose games. So Joel Embiid is absolutely fantastic, don't get us wrong, and they're still decently competitive in some of those games that they didn't have Ben Simmons in, but at the end of the day, they are losses. They are losing games. Their bench is still good, don't get us wrong. Shake Milton just went for 20 the other night, or last night, actually, without Ben Simmons, so that was great. Somebody else is picking up the slack, but overall the team is still not getting it done, not winning the games, so we have to move the 76ers back to number 7. All right, new number 6 team, and yes, sir, new team in the power rankings here, the New York Knicks. Absolutely magnificent what they've been doing. 8-game winning streak. Got to respect the heck out of them. We chose between the Warriors and Knicks at number 9. We chose wrong, so we're going to kind of, help the Knicks out a little bit, give them an extra little bit of love here, placing them at number 6 right off the rip in our power rankings. So fantastic there. They're just getting it done, man. Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, Reggie Bullock, I mean, clutch as clutch can be over these last couple of games here. So all the starters are decently getting it done. The big 3 of the starters are getting it done. And then off the bench, Taj Gibson, Derrick Rose, Emmanuel Quickley, all having great productions off the bench. I mean, that's what this Knicks team needs. They need a great showing from the starters and a great showing from the bench. All these other kind of teams can rely on just their starters, but this Knicks team needs to rely on the bench. And Derrick Rose and Taj Gibson are just true leaders out there. Tom Thibodeau's getting it done defensively. Even Nerlens Noel is doing pretty dang good at the starting 5 for this Knicks team. So I'm all about this Knicks team. Just this last week, they beat the Mavericks, the Pelicans, the Hornets, and the Hawks. I mean, all solid kind of comps to this Knicks team, and they're beating them, and kind of beating them big. This last week, they've been shutting out teams. All their wins, their last 4 wins this last week, are all basically 10-point wins, 10 more point wins. I think against the Mavs, it was like 8. But everything else is 10 or more point wins, kind of decently blowout wins. The bench is getting it done. Derrick Rose is looking real good out there. So got to give this Knicks team so much credit for what they've done. They fought their way all the way up to the 4th seed here in the East. Got to respect the heck out of them for that. Let's see how they continue to do it this week, and we'll put them at number 6. All right, new number 5 team here. Another team kind of dropping a little bit here, and a little unfortunate, but we are going to have to move the Suns back from number 2 to number 5 here in the power rankings. Now, they have had a little bit of a tough week here. They beat the Bucks, they beat the 76ers, they lost to the Spurs and the Celtics. So the reason why we're dropping them back is just sometimes their offense is truly lackluster. I mean, we've just seen it this week. They put up 86 points against the Celtics last night, and then they put up like 89 against the Spurs. So there are some nights where their offense just can't get it done, and it's really because if Devin Booker doesn't go out there and score 30 points, I mean, the offense is just lackluster beyond that. I mean, we have been liking the Suns up until this past week. The bench of the Suns of Cameron Payne and Cameron Johnson and Dario Saric, I mean, they were all kind of decently getting it done, 10 plus points. Any one of those 4 players off the bench can go for 10 plus points every single night, but we haven't been seeing that lately. We just saw, who was it, Cameron Johnson get into the starting lineup instead of Jay Crowder last night because he didn't play and he didn't step up. So not really great there. Can't really rely on this Suns team scoring the ball that consistently this week, and it scares me a little bit, folks. Them having two really lackluster offensive performances, even though they basically had all their starters. They didn't have Jay Crowder. He's not a main scorer on that team. He's like the third. He's probably the fourth scoring option on that team, maybe even fifth, depending on if you want to give it to their number 3 out there over Jay Crowder. But at the end of the day, the bench of the Suns is disappointing me a little bit. The offense has been a little lackluster if Devin Booker isn't the primary scorer out there. So gonna have to move the Suns down a little bit here this week. Let's see if they can kind of recover a little bit. Alrighty, number 4 now is a new team. New team here, up in number, not a new team in the top 10, but a new team here for number 4, and it's going to be the Boston Celtics. Very well done of what they've been doing. I mean, they've had no bench. I mean, Evan Fournier hasn't played in a very, very long time, and they're still getting it done. We just saw Kemba Walker step up last night, a huge win over the Suns. I mean, what a great win that was, holding them to only 86 points, getting it done offensively. They beat the Warriors as well, and then they lost to the Bulls. A little bit of a skid there with the Bulls. We're not going to weigh that one too heavy. But Kemba Walker last night stepped it up absolutely big. Jason Tatum, ever since last night, has really been just stepping it up the entire ever since the trade deadline. We can rely on him. They didn't even have Jaylen Brown last night, and they still were able to kind of overcome all their... I mean, folks, we really just have to give it up for the Celtics team last night, honestly. No Jaylen Brown. Their bench is absolutely trashed by having no Evan Fournier. They have to put Romeo Langford in the starting lineup. I mean, just not very good out here. But Kemba Walker gets it done. They get it done defensively. Jason Tatum with the rebounding. Yes, sir. Tristan Thompson still there, being a pretty good 5 out there. So, I mean, this lineup of Kemba Walker, Marcus Smart, Tristan Thompson, Jason Tatum, Romeo Langford was able to beat the Celtics. I mean, I got to give it up for Brad Stevens, a great coach. Kemba Walker, as we said, we praised him last night. And Jason Tatum, a little bit of a light night last night, 1 of 8 from 3, but just everybody else able to kind of step it up just enough to get the win. And that's fantastic. Your number 1 option is not playing very well, only 15 points. Your number 2 option and Jaylen Brown is not even there. Your kind of number 3 option, Evan Fournier, he comes off the bench. He's not there, but Kemba Walker steps up. Everybody else has decent games, so I got to give so much respect to the Celtics team for winning. In the last week, like we said, they beat the Warriors and the Suns. Good wins there, quality wins. They did lose against the Bulls, a little unfortunate. They were kind of, streaky themselves, the Bulls. So we're going to give them a little bit of a free pass on that Bulls loss, but I mean, I got to respect them. Like, what did we say they were? 8-2. 8-2 in their last 10, just getting it done, finding their true rhythm, finding what works for this team, and I got to respect the heck out of them. So we move them up to number 4. All right, number 3 is going to stay the Jazz here. It's going to stay the Jazz. No Donovan Mitchell, and they're still kind of getting it done, and that's, fine because they still got Mike Conley and Joe Ingles. It's not anything, it's not the depth that they're worried about. They still got Jordan Clarkson off the bench giving us like 22 points a game, Rudy Gobert, Bogdanovich. So this Jazz team is super very good still. They're deep. They're great. Over the last week, they beat the Pacers, the Lakers, and the Rockets, and then they also lost to the Lakers. So not a really great loss there, especially with no AD and LeBron James. They still lost against that Lakers team. That's why we're a little iffy kind of on moving this Jazz team down or up a little bit. Not really any great wins out there. They lost to the Lakers. A little bit of a slip there. So we're just going to leave this Jazz team at number 3. Let's see what they do. Can they continue to win without Donovan Mitchell? We'll see what happens. But Jazz at number 3, we got to just leave them there. All right, then this new number 2 team, man, oh man, gotta give so much respect to this Nuggets team. Once again, a reason why we had this Nuggets team so high, maybe the Nets and the Bucks super low, is because this Nets team is winning without Jamal Murray. How freaking fantastic, man. Facundo Campazzo. I mean, they even lost their kind of backup of Monte Morris. He played 1 game starting without Jamal Murray, and then he gets injured, or he's not available to play anymore. So Facundo Campazzo has to step up, and he's been the game manager out there. Absolutely fantastic. They just brought in Austin Rivers. He played his first game, their last game. We'll see if he can kind of continue to get better. He's on a 10-day contract, so we'll see if he kind of gets signed long-term out here. But Austin Rivers, his first game, put up like 5 points and like 3 or 4 assists or something like that in like 13 minutes. So solid work out there. They still got Jokic. Obviously their main scorer out there. Michael Porter Jr. is fantastic. Aaron Gordon is, still needs to kind of come into his own out there. He's kind of the 3rd best scorer out on their team or just on the floor on a given basis. So we'll see what kind of Aaron Gordon's going to do, but Jokic and Michael Porter Jr. are obviously picking up the slack of Jamal Murray. Like we've just said, the backups of just Monte Morris and Facundo Campazzo just making it work as well. They have not lost a game without Jamal Murray, folks. What do we got? Nice little 4-game winning streak, 8-2 in their last 10. Just this last week without Jamal Murray, they've been able to beat the Rockets, the Grizzlies, and the Blazers. Solid teams. I mean, the Rockets not that solid, but the Grizzlies solid, Blazers solid, and they're able to go out there and win kind of convincingly. It's not like, oh my God, they're dragging down to the finish line. Yeah, maybe the Grizzlies because they went into double overtime, but still, I mean, to compete in double overtime without Jamal Murray and still get the win. I mean, that's absolutely fantastic. The grit of this team, the depth of this team, the will to win of this team. Jokic kind of being the front runner MVP now, taking over without Jamal Murray. That's what we want to see. Not Kyrie Irving out there by himself, not getting it done. That's not anything impressive to us. Look at what this Nuggets team is doing. We're going to put them at number 2. Super freaking incredible what they're doing without Jamal Murray. I can't say it enough, honestly. So Nuggets at 2, and then the Clippers are still going to be at 1. Kind of the same reason why the Nuggets moved up. No Kawhi Leonard, and they're still winning games. Paul George is getting it done. I mean, just the ins and out of Serge Ibaka at the big, Patrick Beverley at the number 1, and then who is it? It's not Patrick Beverley. It's who took over for them? Reggie Jackson. I mean, he's getting it done. He's been absolutely fantastic in that starting point guard position. So him and Paul George has really been getting it done. The bench has been, sometimes everybody's out in the starting wise. Just Paul George is the only really kind of same starter there, and everybody from the bench gets up and they win games. I mean, the Clippers, they beat the Timberwolves. They beat the Blazers. They beat the Grizzlies this week. They did lose to the 76ers. Unfortunate there. I don't think Kawhi Leonard played that game, so I mean, we're not going to take that as a big win, and they only lost by 3. Paul George kept them in it, so I got to give it up for this Clippers team. All the role players that don't get a lot of minutes when the starters are all there are getting a ton of minutes here, getting enough work in the regular season, winning games. So now when the playoff comes, I mean, this Clippers team, their bench is going to be absolutely on fire. They're like, yeah, we've kind of been in this situation before. We know what it takes to kind of get into the starting lineup and, be the kind of primary scorer when we need to be. And they all step it up. So I got to give so much credit to this Clippers team winning without Kawhi Leonard. Paul George is going absolutely manic here. I mean, man, oh man, you could have potentially put him as kind of MVP, honestly, if it just kind of wasn't for just like this back half of the season. You could potentially put Paul George winning games without Kawhi Leonard, and he's putting up like 30 points a game while doing so. So absolutely fantastic here by this Clippers team. We're going to put them at 1. Rondo kind of even being kind of in and out decently, consistently, and they're still able to win. They're able to win. They're able to all collectively get it done. Bench, everybody in the bench, all the role players step it up when their name is called, when their number is called. Same thing with the Nuggets team. So got to respect the heck out of these two teams. Clippers still at number 1 and Nuggets at 2. All right, so this is our power rankings going into this week, folks. Wizards at 10, Bucks at 9, Nets at 8, 76ers at 7, Knicks at 6, Suns at 5, Celtics at 4, Jazz at 3, Nuggets at 2, and the Clippers at number 1. Alrighty, let's head over to Justin Fields. We're taking another look at this man. We've got, let's kind of preface it by saying this. We want to look into Justin Fields. We want to re-look into Justin Fields. I would say he's kind of the most questioned quarterback in this year's draft class. A lot of people are taking Mac Jones over this man, and I don't understand that. A lot of people are saying that Mac Jones is going to be like better than Justin Fields, like right out of the gate, and I don't see that. I don't buy Mac Jones at all. The Jets potentially are taking Zach Wilson over Justin Fields. I think that may be a little disrespectful as well. But so we're taking a second look at Justin Fields here before the draft because we have to kind of make our choice. Is he going to be good or is he not going to be good? It's really kind of 50-50 out there in the public, in the media. He's been getting slandered. I mean, they're bringing up his freaking epilepsy, even though it's been under control his entire freaking life. So we're looking at our own red flags on this man. The only red flags that we really had is that in the big games, in the bowl games, he just didn't step up the greatest, what we would have liked to see from him. So let's go back. We just watched the national championship game against Alabama. Nothing really great in there. The 51% completion percentage is a huge red flag in the biggest game. And I understand that it's against Alabama, one of the best college teams in the league. I get all that, folks. But it's still a little bit of a red flag flag that we have to take a look at. And then that other game against Northwestern, the game we're going to look at right now today, is 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 44% completion percentage, but they still won the game, but it wasn't because of him. So maybe a little bit of a free pass there. It is the kind of Big Ten championship game, and he kind of floundered a little bit in it. So we're going to take a look at this game. Is it kind of reaffirming our red flags, or is it kind of, you know what, he's still playing good. Yeah, the stats weren't good, but he's still playing good. Maybe just drops by the defense, something like that. So let's see what Justin Fields was looking like against Northwestern this season. Another red flag game that we've had when we did our initial kind of dive on this man, looking at him in our NFL draft prospect of the day. So let's see what we get against Northwestern here. We got every drop back of Justin Fields here. So let's roll this tape and see what we get on this man. Can we buy him a little bit more till the draft? We're going to be kind of, racking our brain, making the key decision, because this is the one that we want to be on the right side of. 10 years down the line, when, people are, talking about, the media and the sports personalities that talk sports, and, did you believe in Justin Fields and then he worked out? People will praise you. If you called him trash and he turns out to be great, I mean, you're going to get flamed. You're going to get burned. So we really want to be on the right side here. We are kind of seeing that it's really kind of 50-50 out there in the public and in the media. So let's see where we're ending up at. Alrighty, here we go. Against Northwestern, let's see what this man was looking like in this game, in the kind of Big Ten championship game. So here we go. Play number 1 here. At the 20-yard line, first play of the game. And alrighty, it looks like he's just trying to throw over the middle here. Receiver just couldn't really hang on to it. Looks like Justin Fields threw it a little bit too much inside. Looks like, the receiver just was going to keep on crossing the inside here. Justin Fields maybe throwing this one a little bit more behind, but it should have been caught 100%, absolutely. Let's see if we get a replay of it. I don't think we will, and we don't. Alrighty. So we'll kind of count that one up as not a great catch. It was a better throw. This one, he's just dumping it out of the backfield. Just easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Goes for about 9 yards, 8 yards. Fantastic. All right, 3rd and 2 now. Can he pick up this 3rd down? This is huge now. Let's see what he's doing here. First drive here. Just a little bit of a check down route. All righty, going back to number 4. He's able to catch it back this time. Fantastic. Pick up the 1st down. All righty, 1st down now. Here we go. Justin Fields dropping back, looking to go deep. He does. Oh, what a ball, man. Woof. Just a smidge outside, but let's count the yards on this one. We'll count it from like the 34-yard line. Count to 35 just for the easy math. Getting it all the way down to maybe the 15. Is that right? Woof. That's 50? Is that 50? 15 to the 35. 15 to the 50. 35 down to the other 15. 50 yards, no? Just unfortunately, just a little thrown, a little bit too much out of bounds. But it's a good placement. No chance at a pick. No chance at a breakup. Only catch or incomplete. So I've got no problem with that throw. All right, here we go on the sideline. Great right there. Picks up the 1st down on 2nd and 10. Nice little drive here to open up the game. Ooh, 2nd and 14. What happened here? Big jump or a penalty? What do we got? Big jump in time. All right. So 2nd and 14 now. Once again, going to those he throws the ball with some real good velocity, folks. He really does have some nice velocity. Gets the ball out quick. Oh, we skipped 2 plays here. Let's go back to this 2nd and 14. Right here, just throwing it all the way to the sideline, getting it down, getting it there before the defender can make a play on it. So I love that. All right, escaping the pocket here on 3rd and 3. There we go. Yes, sir. Diving forward, loses the ball. This is another kind of a little bit of a red flag here. Diving forward. All righty. He is getting down. He's not taking the big hit, trying to kind of fit between those 2 defenders. He still could have slid back here because he did pick up the 1st down, so maybe he wasn't really aware of where it was because he was diving forward like he was trying to pick up the 1st down. No fumble. He was clearly down before the ball came out. All right, here we go. Nice first drive here. A nice little read option here. Did he make the right read? He picks up 9, but let's see if he made the right read here. Let's see. All righty, here we go. Defensive end. Crash down. He did crash down. Here he is, crashing down. Fantastic. Now, if he did hand it off, it seems like the running back had a great lane, but he read the defensive end. He crashed down, so he made the right read there. Unfortunately, couldn't kind of fully beat that safety. If he fully beats that safety right here, or the corner safety, whatever, he could potentially run off for the entire thing. But still, a nice little pickup there, great read. And now this first drive has them down in the red zone. So let's see how he caps off this drive here. Nice little play action pass. Dump off there to the running back. Easy. Running back picks up 2 yards. Now 3rd and goal from the 9. Let's see if he can fit it in here. Getting blitz. Can't really escape the pressure. Truly unfortunate here. No time to throw this ball either. What do we got? 1, 2, 2.5, and he already has to turn and spin out. Nothing really great. Maybe you can try to flip it down here to this wide receiver. It looks to be a little open, but I mean, he's got no time to throw. So good blitz there, drawn up by Northwestern to bring him down. They have to settle for a field goal, I'm assuming, and they do. The defense gives up a touchdown. This is kind of, once again, another knock on this Ohio State team in that championship game against Alabama. I mean, the defense could not get a stop to save their lives. Justin Fields was coming down, maybe scoring a touchdown, maybe, making it, a little bit of a closer game, cutting the lead down to like 21-14, but then the defense would give up another touchdown, making the lead back up to 21. Justin Fields comes back, makes it, 14-point lead. Then the defense gives up another one. So a little unfortunate there by this Ohio State defense. Not the greatest here. All right, here we go. Justin Fields back out on the field following possession here. All right, rolling out to the right, throwing back to the left side of the field, incomplete. Hit as he was throwing. All right, 2nd and 10. Oh, man, these wide receivers not really right on the mark here. Let's see. Oh, you got to catch that. You got to catch that all day, man. You got to catch that all day. So some of these drops are just by these wide receivers. These are still good throws here, and he's still able. I mean, look at the velocity, man. He's throwing it from the right hash all the way back to like the left sideline, and he still gets there. If this running back catches it, this wide receiver catches it, I mean, he could turn up the field and pick up the first down because he's able to get the ball out there before the corner can get there fully to make a play on the ball or just to make a play on the player. So it'd be a little interesting there. He's got some nice velocity on the kind of sideline to sideline throws, and I'm all about it. All right, escaping the pressure here, buying the time. Once again, this is the red flag that I have on him right here, man. He tries to keep the play alive way too much. And yes, I respect it because it is kind of the true competitor in you to always go 1,000% on every single play, but live for another down. This is kind of what Josh Allen was doing in the first 2 seasons. He cleaned it up a little bit year 3 this season, Josh Allen for the Bills. Didn't really have too many kind of careless turnovers while scrambling, while trying to keep the play alive. We'll see if that kind of reemerges here year 4. Seems like he cleaned it up decently. Maybe kind of some bailouts as well this season, so it's not cleaned up 100% by Josh Allen. So, but yeah, just got to live for another down here. Just this kind of last flick here while 3 defenders all right there converging on the ball. Do they call it an interception? Do they call it incomplete? That one ref says incomplete, so it's incomplete, but a potential there of a turnover of just trying to do too much. Let's live for another down. All right, back to first down here, man. Oh, man. Let's see what happened here. I mean, a little bit of a lackluster throw here by Justin Fields here of a nice little swing pass to the running back behind him. I mean, didn't really get there. Not the greatest try to catch there, and they luckily fall on the ball. So another kind of bailout by for Justin Fields here. All right, next play. This one sails on him. No chance at this one. On 3rd and 8, can't pick up the first down. Do they punt out of this, or do they go for it on 4th and 8? Looks like they're going to punt. Unfortunate for Justin Fields. Couldn't pick up that 4th down. So another kind of unable to pick up. We saw third and goal from the 9, 4th and 8, or 3rd and 8 here. All right, let's keep it going. The defense gives up a field goal, so now it's 10-3 in the game. Justin Fields escaping the pocket. Nothing really there. Do they even count that as a catch? They do. 2-yard gain. 3rd and 4 here, another 3rd down. Can he pick up this one? Going a little bit deeper. There we go. Good kind of catch here. Defender never really plays it. Threw this one a little bit too much inside maybe. Could have thrown a little bit more towards the sideline, but at the end of the day, it's a good throw. It's a good catch. It's a completion for the first down. That's what we're talking about. Good throw there. Good clutch ability on 3rd down. Alrighty, 1st and 10. Little play action. Come back deep. There he is. And once again, that velocity on the arm. He can make it from the left hash. He is slinging that ball all the way to the right sideline, getting it there quick before the defense can converge. So that's really the one big takeaway on this kind of rewatch that we're seeing these throws from left hash to right sideline, right hash to left sideline to sideline. We're seeing the great velocity there. So he's got the arm. The arm is never the question on this man. Fantastic arm. So let's write that down, sideline to sideline. We love it. All right, here we go. Let's keep going here. This drive is starting to be pretty good here at the 25 of Northwestern. Justin Fields can't escape the pressure. Another sack here. All right, let's go back on this play. Let's see if we can see anything developing early. I know we don't have the official game film here, unfortunately. Everything's really kind of locked up here. You can go here. He could throw it right here. Just a little check down here for about 5 yards it would have been. He wasn't even looking that way either. He was looking more downfield over here, but unfortunately gets brought down. All righty, nothing seemed to be wide open that he just missed. 2nd and 19 now following the sack. Staying in the pocket. Escaping a little bit, decides to run with it now, and he picks up about 7 yards. Not too bad there. All right, now 3rd and, what do we get? 3rd and 12? 3rd and 11. Let's see if he can pick this one up. Here we go. Once again, going to the check down a little bit here. Not the greatest throw right here on 3rd and 11. Not the best decision. Here it was. This was the wide open man right there. I don't think this corner came off. I think he came off before. Yeah, well, as he was throwing, he came and recognized it. So, unfortunate there. Great defense. That was a better defensive play. He recognized them as soon as he was throwing the ball and then came off and made the play. That was a great play. That was a great play by that defender. Fantastic. Forces an incomplete pass though. So, little unfortunate there. So they have to settle for a field goal. Now we're talking about further advanced in the game. It's 10-6. Justin Fields back with the ball on the 40-yard line with a minute left in the second quarter. Here we go on Northwestern side of the field. Here we go. Justin Fields 1st and 10 before halftime. Gearing up to go big. Second thought. Pump fake, pump fake, pump fake. And then just, what is this right here? Just kind of throws it way over this receiver right here. Running back receiver, whoever it is out there, throws it way above him, and there's just nobody home for that one. 2nd and 10 here. Stepping up in the pocket, going deep, and this one's underthrown. It's a little short as well. This time throwing it left hash, getting it all the way down to the right sideline on the goal line, and the arm isn't right there. Now they get kind of maybe bailed out with a little flag here. Another bailout here by Justin Fields. Oh, no, they call offensive. They called offensive. Wow. Hang on, what? What happened here? Somebody didn't put this in order because now we're okay, I don't know what happened here. Somebody didn't put this in order, so we have to go back to 2 minutes here. This is where they got above the midfield here. Justin Fields, a nice little run here. Once again, the speed, the dual threat ability is absolutely fantastic on this man. Nobody's doubting that. Once again, falls forward a little bit already, so he doesn't always, look to kind of take the big hit. Went down there, knew he got all that he can. So that's another kind of green flag that we're seeing here. Alrighty, 1st and 10 now. What was this play? 1:17 left. Set up screen that goes nowhere. Somebody didn't put these in order, and it's a little frustrating. I thought they were. 2nd and 10 now, 1:12 here. This is the throw here to the sideline. Getting it down. Alrighty, 1st down there. Now 1st and 10, 1:07 from the 15. Can he capitalize on this red zone? Another check down here. They rallied to it, bring him down for only, he got 6 yards on it. Good after the ball catch. All right, 2nd and 5 from the 9. Going deep, and it's a pick in the end zone. Throwing the kind of 50-50 ball. Didn't get enough on it, man. And once again, another kind of disappointment. Yes, he's throwing it from the left hash all the way down to the kind of the right side of the end zone, and it's an incomplete, it's a pick. It's a 50-50 ball pick. Unfortunate, so didn't get enough on it. So maybe that kind of sideline to sideline isn't fantastic. It's all right. It's above average. It's more consistent than not. But we have to put a little asterisk here. Not all the time. We've seen some picks. And obviously not everything's going to be all the time. I get it. Nothing's going to be 100% there all the time. I get it, folks. Please, please don't knock that as as the main takeaway of what I'm saying here. Alrighty, so, not really clutch here, not getting it done in the red zone, turning the ball over, settling for field goals here in this Big Ten championship game. Look at this one. What is this? Trying to throw the ball away. And he throws a pick. Trying to get rid of the ball. Another really poor decision here. Alrighty, now luckily the defense bails them out. They don't get anything on that pick. How crazy is that? No field goal, no nothing. So the defense picks it up. Now they're at the freaking 28 of Northwestern here. So what happened there? Defense gets it done. Or other, playmaker gets it done besides Justin Fields. Here we go, another kind of run by him. Takes a little bit of a hit. 2nd and 2 now. Following play. Here we go from the 20-yard line. So now in the red zone, what can he do this time in the red zone? Can he get it done? Throwing another 50-50 ball, and that's all right. That's a little bit of a better throw here on the 50-50. Only a chance at a completion or an incomplete pass. No chance at a defensive tip. No chance at an interception. So that was a decent throw there, still incomplete. They do end up getting a touchdown, not because of Justin Fields, though, so not getting it done in the red zone, but they were able to call on somebody else there, running back most likely. All right, they get the ball back here, still up 13-10, a little bit of a check down. Still up 13-10 at the end of the third quarter. 3rd and 8, going deep, and man, oh man, throwing this in double coverage. Where is he? Where is he seeing? What is he seeing here? He tried to fit it in and almost did. It's still a decent ball here. Luckily, it went incomplete, but I had a real chance at an interception there. Alrighty, what's the score now? Where are we at here? 16-10, so they get another field goal here. 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. See, this is what I'm talking about. Another good throw from the left hash to the right sideline. It's there most of the time. Fantastic. That's a great ball. Holy cow. Alrighty, so just some lackluster attempts, and that was the last throw that he had in the game, and that's Justin Fields, folks. So still some red flags, but I'm ready to call it. I think he's going to have good success in this league. It's just in the big games, is he going to be able to get it done? He's good. I mean, his record's real great. He doesn't lose that many games. He gets it done. I mean, winning the entire season here this year, never lost until the championship game, and he kind of floundered a little bit. Nothing great. Then we go back to 2019. Once again, not losing in the regular season until the kind of national championship game against Clemson, and I know that one wasn't truly his fault, the interception at the end of the game. I get it, folks, but still at the end of the day, didn't do enough to win the game. And then we go back to 2018, basically not losing. He had a little bit of a setback loss here against LSU, unfortunately. Didn't even play that game, went 1 of 3. So he wasn't even playing that game that they lost. And then got to, this is the first round of the playoffs, I'm assuming. Yep, won first 4, but once again loses against Alabama in the big game. So that's the only real question mark. That's the only real red flag that we have on Justin Fields. But, I mean, his throw power is great. I don't think you can really kind of knock him for his throwing ability. We've been seeing it here. Just unfortunately took some bad kind of one-on-one opportunities. Not always accurate there. The receivers dropping some passes too, getting him out of rhythm. So I think he's going to work in this league. I'm ready to call him, saying that he will work. Justin Fields will be the second best quarterback in this draft. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence, we have to call him number 1. We've just been seeing so much more consistency from Trevor Lawrence than Justin Fields. But to say that Zach Wilson is better, to say that Mac Jones is better, to say that, Trey Lance is going to be better, I think that's a little ridiculous, and I think it's a little disrespectful to Justin Fields. So I'm ready to say he's going to be good, but is he going to be clutch? That's what we need to see. Will he win the games? Will he come out year 1 great? Is he going to take a little bit of time to develop? But I think overall he will be decent in this league. He will be successful. He will be above average quarterback in this league. Alrighty, that is going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening, watching. Let's see if anything's broken as we have gone live here on this hour 51-minute episode on a nice Friday. Yeah, nothing breaking here, so that's good, right? That's good. We don't have to spend any more time on breaking news. I mean, could you imagine this goes for another 10 minutes? Could you imagine listening to that? Could you imagine listening for another 10 minutes? Alrighty. So we're out of here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. We're back tomorrow. We're getting closer and closer to the draft. We're spending more time on the draft. We will probably order our draft prospects by position tomorrow on the show, getting us ready for our first and only mock draft that we will do. So, all right, folks. We're back tomorrow live, noon Eastern. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you.